The house is probably at least 120 years old. People that's worked here and myself and some other people that's been here helping me work, doing some building. We've always had some really weird encounters in here that some things we can't really even explain. At one point I didn't believe it because this guy, he's kind of a crazy type guy anyway. He's always joking around, and he told us this thing that he was here one night. He was actually staying here as security for me during the event that we were having. Well, he calls me one night and says that he's seen this orange type head. I think he said it was orange glowing or red glowing of some sort, and thought that it was some type of head. And it was just floating, and it went right by a place where he was at. Every now and then I'd hear him telling other people about it, and it was always the same story. So I kind of wanted to believe him, but then again, I didn't want to. We kind of brushed that off, and that story kind of went behind a while, and a few other things happened. Well, about 2 years later, a girl that was working here that didn't even know the guy that we're talking about, she come out of the house one night and she described the exact thing that he saw. And we don't have anything in there like projectors or anything like that would even give that mimic of what they were saying, any kind of lighting either of that area that they were in. Well, that guy Eric that we're talking about, he's working in the parking lot now. So I go up there and I ask him, you know, hey, do you know this girl down here? You know, I pointed down to her, and he was like, no, I never seen her before. I said, you've never talked to that girl at all? He said, no. She described exactly what you saw and about the same area that you saw it as well. So we walked back in there. I told her to show me where she saw it. She walked right up to the area. She was getting closer and closer to where Eric told me he seen it, but it was the room opposite of where he seen it at. This is actually like an older little, like it's just a clown hallway right now. But at the time, this wall wasn't here or this wall. This was wide open space. And when Eric actually stayed here, we had a room built in here that he slept in. About this area right here is where he was laying. He could look over this way, and the area that he was in, it's kind of hard to explain it right here because we're all in this little hole, but this was wide open at the time. There was a bed that laid here, and there was a window here. Now we put a door there. This head that he said that he seen would start over here on the back side of another wall behind you guys, and it would come across and it'd go straight and it'd just disappear through the window. When the girl 2 years later said she seen the same thing, that's when these walls were here. So these two walls had been put in place here, and then she said that she seen it out here. She walked us right to this area here, not far from there. I would say probably 20, 30 feet. She seen it out here, and she said it had come through that little area there and dipped around and went this way, through that way, and that's when she said she didn't see it any longer. Said it came through another hole right over there and come through this little wall here and turned and went that way, and it went out. The lady that came in one day, she just happened to show up. She came into this area and said this is where her grandfather died. She said that one morning he cooked himself breakfast, which used to be the kitchen in there. She said that her sister had witnessed him kind of acting weird, and he walks in here and he lays down on a chair somewhere that was in here, and he just lays back and passes out, and he was gone. So.
And was this, you said you heard footsteps, was this the room you heard the
This
footsteps?
is the exact, yeah, this is it. Now that you think about it, I mean, I never really thought about that, but this is the room. I was actually building this fireplace mantle right here was really in bad shape. I was here by myself, and actually I was putting this last piece on up here. I was drilling it and putting the screws in. I had my back turned, I think it was this way, and I was just drilling it, and I heard something one time, and I just stopped for a second, and I thought somebody was here. I sat here for a minute, and I didn't hear no car, and it was just complete quietness here. And then right when I turned back around, I started to drilling this thing again. I heard it. It sounded like they were just walking forever for a minute, you know? I mean, it was just like they were just out walking around, and I'm thinking, and there's a grate here in the floor that we put that here to where the customers, this is another route that customers walk over and they can look down. I look up, and I actually had the flashlight on the drill, and I just pointed the drill up there, and I was shining the flashlight up there to it. As soon as I shined the flashlight up through there, it went away. I had my gun on me on that day, So I walk around through there and I just walk up the steps kind of slowly, and I already had my gun out. And I walk around that whole upstairs and didn't see a thing. There wasn't nobody up there. It was just like it is now. It's just us here. I never got the creeps that much, but that day I come back down the stairs. I set the drill right here on the counter. I went on my merry way. I didn't know if I was bothering somebody else or what, but I had to leave that night because I was here by myself. I guess we'll just walk all the way around. But this area here, we were in there when we heard the buzzing, but whoever's watching this video, most of the guys know what we're talking about, but when you barely press a drill, like a DeWalt drill, you can hear it kind of buzz. It'll have that ee to it. It's just, I think I got one here I could show you, but if you barely press the trigger on a drill, it'll make a buzzing noise, kind of. Well, we kept hearing that, and I was like, what is that noise? I keep hearing a buzz. So we were walking all over the house. And so we're walking around and we're just kind of doing this, and we're trying to listen. So we could tell that we were getting kind of far away from it, or we'd walk back the other way and try to find it. So we finally found it. So we walk around through here. There was a drill that was laying about right here. I would say that it was about right here, yeah. As soon as I walked around the corner, the light was on the drill. I probably got about this close to it, and I started to reach down to grab it, and it cut off. The light went off, and the buzzing went off. And that's just another thing that I could never explain. I mean, those drills, they just don't start doing that by themselves, And that was a new drill too. It was a newer style drill, and so I don't know what made that do that, but it's never happened again. So.
Okay, so right now we're gonna kick off our investigation in this lovely old bar, which I think you said used to be the kitchen. Was this used to be the kitchen?
Yeah, this used to be the kitchen area.
Yeah. And we have Scott here with us, and we're going to do a portal session just to see if we can get any sort of idea of any spirits that may be here, how many are here, what their names are, things like that. So let's turn it on and see what we get. This takes a little bit of messing with the
Sunday morning silence.
What was that?
That was a whole sentence right there.
Oh. Okay, I'm not touching it. If there's anybody here, my name is India and this is Connor. And we've come to talk with you today. So if there's anybody here who may be a spirit or may have passed on, can you talk to us? Get me out. Did you hear get me out?
I heard get something.
Get me out.
Whoa. Did you hear that whisper? Did you hear that whisper, Scott? Oh my god.
Are you a male or a female? How many of you are here? What's that?
What was that?
It sounds like there's an angry man that keeps yelling. Are you angry that we're here in your house?
What? We also something. Is that radio?
Who owns the house?
Yeah. Help something.
Do you like that this is a haunted house now, that people can come and have fun and get scared?
It It sounded like it said totally fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whose footsteps did Scott hear upstairs?
We're old.
We're old? Did you hear that we're old?
I heard that. We're old. Sounded like it.
Yeah. Hi. Can you come in here in this room? Look at this. What this does. When you walk near this, lights up.
I'm drinking.
I heard drinking.
That's weird.
Yeah. We're in a bar.
What are you drinking?
Who was the glowing head that was in here that people saw?
That was like 3.
That was weird.
Yeah.
Are you showing yourself to the employees here?
Do you know anything about Squeak Rogers, the man that died in the front yard in 1964 here? This tree here, people that have actually lived here has come by here and told us this tree was here before the house was even built. A group of older gentlemen that I know, I was in a room, was built his old shop over there that they got some race cars and stuff sitting over there, and so a buddy of mine, Greg, he was like, hey, this is Scott. He owns that house over there where we used to race at, and they used to race on this road when it was a dirt road. Well, they got talking about it, and they said, yeah, can you remember old Squeak Rogers? Squeak Rogers is what they said his name was. Said, you remember when he got killed in that old Chevelle that he used to drive? The story is that he was leaving from an old filling station. It was down here on the right, or it was on the left, yeah. He left from there one morning, and he was on his way to work. He come around this curve a little too fast, and he come up this bank, flipped the car, and wrapped it around this tree, and it killed him. And they said that he sat here for about 8 hours, and nobody even knew that he was even wrecked here. There was 2 deaths on this property that I know of so far, and one was inside the house, and then this guy being in an auto accident out front out here. Do you know anything about Squeak Rogers, the man that died in the front yard in 1964 here?
Driving. It said driving.
Yeah, I did hear driving.
Yeah, that's really cool. He was driving. Is he still here?
His name was Squeak Rogers. He was driving a 1964 Chevelle. Man, yes.
That was wrong.
It sounded like he said something about drinking beer.
Yeah. Was he drinking and driving? Stop.
Doesn't like
I don't
this
think
yet.
you do.
I heard
I don't
stop.
think you.
Whoa, what the?
I'm the new owner of this property. I'm here. I'm going to take care of this house. We're going to take care of it. We're going to make it really nice looking for you guys.
Fresh?
Oh, it's fresh and the new.
Yeah, that's what I thought I heard too, yeah.
After our portal session in the bar, we decided to try it in the living room, where according to Scott in our interview, a man died suddenly. We received only one response, in which sounded like a child.
Are you in here? What was that?
That was a kid.
Yeah.
Did you hear that, Scott?
Yeah.
That was a kid.
Around this time, Scott's friend showed up to observe our investigation. We then moved into the room where Scott mysteriously heard a power tool go off. We had no responses here either, but the REM pod for the first time in this investigation lit up after I yelled out, "Hello."
Hello. Wait, the REM pod. The REM pod just lit up.
This investigation was short because we did not capture a whole lot of activity, which is normal when it comes to investigating the paranormal. Some locations we travel to may make themselves known to us, while others may lurk just around the corner, waiting to one day communicate.